Alright, welcome to video 2. We're going to start with question number 11. Alright, which of the following is not valid for proving that triangles are congruent? This is kind of like you just got to know it, and the answer would be A. Angle, angle, angle. Everything else, angle, side angle, all this, it is proven theorems. Alright, which of the condition guarantees that R is parallel to S? Now, as you're working through this, my recommendation is see if there is something that proves um, alternate interior angles, alternate exterior angles, something like that. That's going to help us out. So question 1 and 2, or I'm sorry, angle 1 and 2, notice that these two angles are only on line R. So obviously that's not going to be the case. So A is a no-no. Let's see, 2 and 7. These are alternate interior angles. So because of the fact that if both these are congruent, it works, then I don't even have to go any further. So the question would be, are these congruent? The answer is yes. So for 12, it is B. All right, if two lines A and B are cut in transversal, so let's go ahead and draw a picture of this. All right, there's my two lines in my transversal. So I'll say this is line A, this is line B. Here's a transversal. All right, so it says 1 and 2 are same side interior. Well, all right, we'll just put 1 here and 2 here. They're same side, they're on the inside. If angle 1 is 2x plus 30, angle 2 is 4x minus 75. What value of x? So basically we're solving for x. Now with same side interior, both these two angles add up to get to 180. So you would say 2x plus 30 plus 4x minus 75 is equal to 180 and solve for x. All right, question number 14. If Heather is 1.6 meters tall and casts a shadow of 3.5 meters at the same time, a barn casts a shadow of that, find the height of the barn. Once again, let's go ahead and draw a picture. All right, here's my picture. You know, it's obviously not pretty. All right, so you have Heather, which is 1.6 meters, and her shadow is 3.5. The barn here is 17.5, and we're looking for the height, which we'll say x. This is where you're going to set a proportion, where you're going to say the height of Heather, 1.6, over the shadow is 3.5, is equal to the height of the barn, which is x, over the shadow, which is 17.5. Cross multiply and solve. All right, next question, 15. What is the measure in degrees of angle H? So we're looking for this angle here. All right, but before we do that, we've got to solve for y. Now, what we have here are two congruent triangles here. All right, now angle G, notice the setup of these two angles. Angle G is congruent to angle K. Okay, angle G is congruent to angle K. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to set these equal to each other. So 8y minus 7 is equal to 6y plus 11. I'm going to figure out what my y is. Y is equal to something. All right, now, once you figure out what y is, you would then plug it in to angle L. All right, and the reason why you're plugging in an angle L is because angle L is congruent to angle H. All right, so whatever you get for y, plug it in for angle L, and that's what angle H is going to be because both of those are congruent. All right, moving on. In triangle JKL and XYZ, all right, once again, we don't have those triangles. Let's draw them. All right, it says that JK, which is right here, is 10 minus 2n squared, and XY is equal to 2, and YZ, this is a typo. That should be n squared. N squared. What is KL? All right. So what we're doing here is we've got to set a few things equal to each other. All right. So what we got to do is set a few things equal to each other. So the things that we know is equal is JK and XY. So that's going to be 10 minus 2n squared is equal to 2. All right. What we're doing is we're solving for n. Okay. Once we solve for n, same, just like the last question. Once you solve for n, you would then take n and plug it into xy. And the reason why we're plugging into xy, or I'm sorry, yz, sorry, and the reason why we're plugging into yz is because whatever this is, that's going to be it. Okay. So whatever that is, that's going to be it. All right. 17. Which of these congruent statements can be proven given in the figure? All right, so we have a picture that looks like this. All right, so let's see. Okay, this is what I'm thinking. Okay, if you notice, you have a whole bunch of triangles in here. Okay, now the only conclusion that I can make is that, and I'm using this as an example, this triangle that I'm highlighting right here will always be congruent to this triangle that's off to the side of it. All right, and the reason behind that, and I'm going to take this away just to clean it up a little bit, and I'm going to take these away. I'm just going to talk about the top two is because of the fact that I know that AE and I know that CE of these two triangles are congruent. And this right here is what is called a shared side. So I know that this is also going to be congruent, okay? So they would be congruent through side, angle, side. So side, angle, side. So that is the only conclusion. Any of these triangles down here, I have no idea what, well, I guess I can make that argument too. So I'm sorry about this, guys. Remember, this is the first time I've seen. All right, it's all coming back to me now. All right, so I don't think they even gave us those options. So like AED, they didn't give us those options. So so yes, you can make that same argument down there, but they don't give us that option. So the only two that are going to be available is AEB and then CE. Let's see, AEB and then CEB. All right, I just figured it out. Sorry. Seeing this for the very first time. All right, the stuff that I just said about the top two triangles are congruent. The top bottom triangles are congruent as well, and those are the only options that they give us, which is right there. All right. What other information needed to prove that CEB and AB is HL congruence theorem? All right, so CEB, let's see, CEB, which is that right there, and AED. So what other information do I need? Well, HL means hypotenuse. These are both two right angles, and I already have a leg that's congruent. So I need to know if my hypotenuse is congruent. So AD and BC. All right, AD and CB. That's it. All right, which is number 18. All right, question number 19. What is measure of ACD? All right, so based off this information here, all right, so my triangle with its 100, these two angles are congruent, and a triangle equals 180 degrees. So I know that this right here is 40 degrees, which this right here is 40 degrees, okay? Now, with that being said, I'm looking for this angle right here. So if this is 40 degrees, moving it over here is a total of 180 because it's a straight line. The answer is D. All right, question number 20, congruent segments have equal measures. We know that a segment bisector divides the segment into two congruent segments. XY intersects DE. All right, let's draw it. So here is DE, and then XY is just cutting it right in half. So this, we'll just say this is, I'm sorry, intersects at X. So right here will be X, and we'll just call that Y right there. All right, so which conjecture is valid? All right. Y is between D and E. DX is congruent to DE. That would be a valid statement. DE is equal to Y. No, that wouldn't work. Y is between D. Well, technically Y isn't. X is between. Let's see. YXD is congruent to YXE. No, that's not congruent. That's not. So what I'm looking at is C for question number 20. All right, question number 21. GJ is a midsegment DEF, and HK is a midsegment of GFJ. What is the length of HK? Okay, these are midsegments. This is not going to be the easiest thing in the world. All right, so if HF is 7, that means GH is 7 as well. All right, so that means everything GF, that is 14. Now, everything G to F, D to G are congruent. So it will be 2n minus 1 is equal to 14. When we solve for n is equal to 7.5. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to take 7.5. This is tricky, so I'm going to stay with you on this one. When I plug it into here, I get a grand total of 16. Okay, now the thing with these mid segments, let me clean this up a little bit, is that if this is 16, GJ would be half of 16, which would be 8. Now HK is another mid segment, so that means that would be half of GJ. So if that's 8, HK would be 4. All right. All right, for question number 22, I went ahead and drew the picture here. Once again, pretty simple once you see the picture. All right, so we're looking for side, angle, side. So there's my side, there's my angle. I have to have AB, and for the other one, DE, I have to have EF, so side angle side for, so my answer will be AB and then EF, so that would be BAFE, that's it. All right, so that was question number 22. Next video.